A vampire giving themselves a pep talk to a mirror that has a crudely drawn picture of themselves that they drew taped to it. Discourse topic of the night. Mini M&Ms are objectively better than normal M&Ms. They have less skin. 90% of the people in the notes are just saying the same thing over and over about the candy to chocolate ratio, but I'd really like to give a shout out to this person for wording it in the most cursed way they could manage. Gays not knowing strap means gun, and straights not knowing strap means strap on, has been the funniest miscommunication on the internet so far. Get the strap. Straights. Gays. Heartbreaking. Local cat has never been fed in entire life, says local cat. Sources close to cat claim cat may have actually been fed between 4 to 6 hours ago. These claims are still under investigation. Breaking news. Cat was fed 20 minutes ago by the last person to walk into the kitchen. Cat claims fake news. We now have exclusive footage shot by our News at 9 chopper that confirms there's literally still food in the cat's bowl right now. Hello everybody. I'd like you to meet Goobert. Tell Goobert I'd die for him. You don't have a choice. Dude, God could come down from heaven with a million angels and tell me that GIF is pronounced GIF, and I still wouldn't fking do it. I'd just shrug and say, okay, thanks, Jod, I'll keep that in mind. This is a hill I will die on. X. I will face Jod and walk backwards into hell. If society collapses and we gotta start living back in tiny tribal societies, everybody's gotta make sure when you start making those stories that get passed down through the ages that you include some Ghibli movies in there. I want future archaeologists to find multiple societies around the world worshipping Chihiro the dragon rider goddess and Howl the trickster god. We got one chance if it happens, so don't F it up. I can't tell if we are handling the collapse of society well or not anymore. I want my rats to grow up with positive role models. So we watched Ratatouille together. Gravy was really into it. A beautiful long-haired tuxedo cat shows off his new prosthetic back paws after a severe injury. I like when you're in the grocery store and you see people buying eggs because they always pick up the carton and then open it like it's a metal briefcase full of cash involved in a drug deal and they're confirming it's money. Don't bother counting it, it's all there. 12. Then they always pick one up and inspect it like, yeah, it's grade A, alright, the real deal. People are checking to see if any of the eggs are cracked, you walnut. Whenever a young kid joins our staff at work, I'm just like, huh, guess I'm a father now. These kids will be like, can you drive me home? I don't have gas money, and I'm already pulling out my keys, and I'm like, sweetheart, you are a child. I'm not charging a child gas money. I literally almost lunged across the counter to throw hands with some old hag who yelled at and insulted one of our 16 years old girls, but instead I threw her sandwich at her and told her to never fking come back. Old dudes will flirt with our young girls too, and I'll be like, hey man, this is a truck stop. Normal customer service rules don't apply here. I can and will call the cops on you. I'm the only manager that actively tells them to steal food because these are teenagers and they are hungry. You are the only valid manager. The second best pun I've ever encountered in the wild was when I was walking down the street in a hip part of Seattle and saw a couple of Budweiser cans thrown into a bush. And I said to a random stranger walking nearby, damn, the local beer harvest is really poor this year. And the random stranger responded, give it time, they're only buds. Why is this the second? What the F could top that? Today in Guess We Didn't Learn Anything as a Species, someone's 3D printed the throat of an Egyptian priest to see what his voice sounded like. The cute thing is that in doing so, they actually fulfilled his wish, as indicated on his sarcophagus. The less cute thing is, do we want to accidentally raise a 5,000-year-old demon? Because that's how you raise a 5,000 years old demon. Imagine stabbing someone with this knife. It would instantly cauterize the wound, so the person wouldn't bleed. So it's not very useful. If you want information it is. And above, in order, we see a Gryffindor, a Ravenclaw, and a Slytherin. Why would you stab a person when you can have toast? There's a Hufflepuff. Working in customer service is like being an NPC in the world's most boring video game. You have set dialogue and actions that you repeat to every person who approaches you. Whenever you're alone, you just stand there, waiting for someone to interact with you. Sometimes random people you've never met will just walk up and start attacking you for no reason. I'm job hunting. So if you feel like contributing via Ko-fi, here's the current reward goal. God refrains from appearing in your nightmares. 0% of goal. Good. I want you to greet me in my nightmares. That's because none of you fungus lumps have any preservation skills, and you never have. If you appear in my nightmares, then I can finally fulfill my fantasies of putting you into the world's largest blender. What the F is with this website, and turning my remains into foodstuff? You f***ing asked us to turn you into soup. That sounds familiar, but I deny it until you can provide evidence. I'm sick in bed. Someone make me soup. To be perfectly clear, make me soup. Turn me into soup. F***ing liquefy me. Yum. Oh. Exposed. Motherfucker, I'm going to solidify inside your nasal cavity. Who are you? When you're laying down and your pet walks across your internal organs and you're like, oh F, and they don't even care, they just keep standing on your spleen like it's their job. This is why I keep my skin closed at all times. You what? Zipper sound. Baby chinchilla. For the love of God, someone hug him. I'm a simple gal. I see a pygmy animal. I lose my fucking mind. He's too small. He's just not big. This post is very good. I enjoyed this post very much. Two dudes, chillin' in open graves, 5 feet apart, cause they're not gay. This is actually an art piece by Miller and Shelabaja, where they dug graves connected by a tunnel, so they could hold hands. They are very much gay, and IRL married. Do you guys understand how creepy the Pledge of Allegiance is though? Like every day, when you're a kid everybody just chants how great America is every morning. It's creepy. You do that every morning. Every morning. Wait. Is this a real thing? I thought that was just in The Simpsons. No son. Wait, other countries don't do this. Whispers. Not even Russia. I once stalked my boyfriend's ex on social media for like 7 months, and I was feeding info back to him, like OMG, she had a baby. And one day I showed him a photo of her with the baby, and he was like, babe, that's not my ex. It turned out I had been stalking some random girl with the same name as his ex, but I had become so invested in this girl's life that I had to reach out to her and tell her this bizarre story about how I'd been accidentally stalking her for 7 months, and she thought it was hilarious. And anyways, that's the story of how I met my best friend. Why are you not in jail? Do 2 different people run this account, or am I trippin'? Sometimes my brain posts, sometimes my pussy. Duck emoji rates. Apple. My goodness, look at the amount of detail on this one. The colors, the shading, everything is just spot on. You can almost make out the individual feathers. Truly a marvelous mallard. 10/10. Google. I see they went with one of those brown varieties of duck. While this is a bold move on their part, I feel as though it loses a bit of its personality. I'm just not really feeling this bird. 7/10. Microsoft. This looks like a modern colorization of the famous duck from the hieroglyphs. I'm absolutely in awe of their dedication to the medium and commentary on the transformative nature of art. 10/10. Samsung. Look at this good boy. He is patiently awaiting a treat, and I wish to reward him with a multitude of gifts. 11/10. Emojipedia. Yuck. 2/10. WhatsApp. Oh ho ho. What a dynamic 3/4 angle. The artist's ability to capture the essence of duck in 3D space is so refreshing to witness. 10/10. Facebook. This bird's looking a bit sickly. I think it has to do with the highlights being in weird places. Hope he feels better soon. 5/10. Twitter. A bit more minimalist this time around. The lack of legs makes it seem as though he's resting on the surface of the water, and I really admire how it sets a scene and makes me feel like I'm really there. 9/10. Emoji 1. I'm really digging the positive energy coming from this bird. I can't explain why, but I feel like that animal's my friend. 10/10. Emoji Dex. This is a goose. 0/10. We collectively have spent 20,409 years, 1 month, 3 weeks and 4 days watching Gangnam Style on YouTube. We. Don't involve me in this. I had nothing to do with that. We as a species must all carry this burden. Humans in the Pokemon world likely lay eggs. Please don't revive this debate. I already spent a frankly inordinate amount of time discussing it that one time. You ever see a kind of discourse you were previously unaware of barreling past you at 120 miles per hour in the opposite direction on the interstate? There's something stupid going inside my head. It's called a thought. Apparently, a Tetris Battle Royale came out, and in addition to that just being funny on its own, we've also got Twitch streamers getting wooed by retirees who have been playing Tetris for the last 3.5 decades. They are getting blown up live by people with handles like Eileen and Love My Kid 72. That is so incredible. Thank you for this news. I realized something today. Forbidden fruit. Whenever I see a stingray skeleton, I'm like, oh, that's just one of those fake Target Halloween decorations, like the skeleton spiders and but no, stingrays are actually like that, and it is concerning. Evolution was like, oh, you wanna be a vertebrate? You want some fucking cartilage? We can make that happen. If chickens were big enough to eat us, do you think they would? Without question. Without remorse. Without hesitation. Without a napkin. Without dipping us in sauce. If you wear a binder and still have some remember, Chris Evans still has more. No worries. This is somewhat reassuring. At a grocery store, before I had top surgery, there was a couple in front of me. The guy was pointing at random folks around and saying to the girl, I'd fight hit for him. I'd whoop him for you. I'd beat him for you. She nods toward me and says, what about this dude behind you? I have my headphones in, without music, and I see the guy glance behind himself at me, make a face, and look back to her. Nah girl, did you see his chest? He could probably knock me out with his peck girl. Honestly, it was a life-changing event. That is one long elevator ride.